Many believe that if charges are brought against former TKO and WWE Executive Chairman Vince McMahon, he would be pardoned by President Trump if indeed Trump won the 2024 US presidential election. All of the details in that. Plus, WWE stars, are they less likely to opt to sign with AEW if the contract expires with WWE right now? We'll let you know about that. Plus, one AEW star reportedly is finishing up with New Japan Pro Wrestling and is set to return to AEW television imminently. We'll let you know who that is. We'll also let you know how plans reportedly changed for Cody Rhodes last year at WrestleMania. WWE reportedly now has a working agreement with the new Marigold promotion founded by Rossi Agawa in Japan. Eric Rowan reportedly is set to return to WWE. Got all of the details on what that return could look like. And Chad Gable could have a new heel faction after his heel turn Monday night on Raw. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off talking about Vince McMahon and the latest developments regarding him, his post-WWE life, as well as possible charges and investigations that could be on the horizon for former TKO executive chairman. Now, Vince McMahon could benefit massively if Donald Trump wins the US presidential race. Back in January, Vince McMahon was accused of sexual assault and sex trafficking in a lawsuit filed by former WWE employee Janelle Grant. The graphic details of the lawsuit left many fans disgusted and appalled, and McMahon stepped down from his position on the TKO board of directors in disgrace. Despite the scandal, a recent report from CNBC claimed that Vince McMahon has moved on from WWE and is enjoying life away from the company he spent much of his life building. Furthermore, McMahon believes he won't face charges relating to the lawsuit, which instead he believes will be settled out of court. The report also added that McMahon has also been in touch with Donald Trump, and some feel this could have a huge impact on his future prospects. Writing in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer said that many believe that even if McMahon does face charges, he'll likely be pardoned should Trump win the 2024 US presidential election in November. He said, quote, "While not in the article, many believe that in the event that there are any charges brought against him and Trump wins the election, he would be pardoned." It also noted that Linda McMahon is on the board of directors for the publicly traded Trump Media and Technology Group stock. Now, despite no longer being on the board of directors, McMahon retains a significant amount of TKO Group shares, ensuring he's still in a position to reap the benefits of WWE's recent success. However, that might not be the case for much longer. According to a new SEC filing, Vince McMahon has made available all of his remaining shares and could be possibly selling them in the future. Of course, if we get any more details on that, we'll let you know. But what do you make of this story regarding Vince McMahon possibly getting a pardon if charges are brought against him and if Trump wins the election in November? Now, let's talk about Drew McIntyre, his future with WWE, amid all of the rumors about his contractual status, as well as the thought process that WWE stars are now less likely to make the jump to AEW than maybe they would have been a couple of years ago. While WWE continues to fly high following WrestleMania 40, uncertainty surrounds several of its biggest stars. Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, Drew McIntyre all have contracts expiring very soon, while Natalya and Sheamus also have deals expiring this year. With regard to Drew McIntyre, it's been reported that he'll become a free agent at the end of May. And as of right now, he still hasn't signed a new WWE contract. Writing in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer reiterated that Drew McIntyre is expected to remain with the company despite the lack of a new deal. He said, quote, "McIntyre's deal expires in late May. It actually expired time-wise at the end of 2023, but they tacked on several months due to time off for injuries. Those in WWE expect he's signing, noting, seeing as it's enough of a given to being advertised on shows past his contract expiration. The feeling was that while he had talked of taking time off, if not creatively fulfilled, that he is very much now and is seen as one of the company's top full-time wrestlers with Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins." Interestingly, Meltzer added that there's now a belief that WWE talent is less likely to move to AEW, as several stars have done previously. He said, quote, "There is also the belief WWE talent is less likely now to opt for AEW. Now, there have been recent suggestions that Hook, an AEW star, could be moving in the opposite direction. The popular star is said to be open to exploring his options in free agency when his deal with AEW expires later in 2024. Further, the sports entertainment giant is believed to be interested in securing his signature. Do you believe Dave Meltzer is right and that WWE stars are now less likely to opt for AEW over WWE if their contract expires, given what's transpired over the last couple of years? Speaking of AEW, one star is set to return to television imminently. If you don't wish to be spoiled, because this could have potential AEW dynasty ramifications, we'll give you 5 seconds to skip ahead. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, let's talk about the scapegoat himself, Jack Perry. Now, Jack Perry hasn't appeared in person on AEW television since losing to Hook at AEW All In back in August 2023. In the minutes of the match, and certainly after the match, after telling a watching CM Punk to cry me a river over real glass, Perry and the now WWE star got into a backstage altercation. The scuffle now resides in wrestling infamy and caused Punk to be fired, and Perry was suspended indefinitely. Following Tony Khan's decision to air fight footage on Dynamite, speculation began to swirl that Perry New Japan's adventure would be soon over and he'd be back with AEW. Writing in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer claimed that Perry will be back with AEW, quote, imminently. Here's what he said, quote, this was Perry's final New Japan match and he's starting imminently in AEW. Obviously, the big question mark is how much of this can sustain outside of Chicago and outside of this week, because this reaction was easy and obvious and he didn't have to do much to get it. Perry's reaction reminded me of the late Gino Hernandez on this night, but again, it was circumstances and the city and shouldn't be confused with him being a great instinctive heel, although in the spots he was. Tony Khan was raving about his reaction and it was special on this night, but the jury could be out on it. Of course, he's referring to Jack Perry's appearance and match at the New Japan Windy City Riot event that was in Chicago, Illinois. Now, during the AEW Dynasty media call, Tony Khan was asked about fan reaction to the backstage footage involving CM Punk and Jack Perry. Khan again backed the decision and deemed it a success, as TBS was happy with the ratings the show did on April 10th. Khan added that he received a phone call from TBS after the show, praising him for a job well done. So, given the fact that Perry could be on his way back to AEW programming, what do you think he gets involved with? Who do you think he gets involved with? What storyline would you have him return to? Let me know your thoughts about that in the comment section below. Now, this is interesting details as to how WWE kind of changed their mind originally when it comes to plans for Cody Rhodes last year at WrestleMania 39. Now, after returning from a torn pectoral injury to win the 2023 Royal Rumble match, many fans believed that Cody Rhodes was set to finish his story and win the undisputed WWE Universal Championship in April 2023. Roman Reigns, though, ultimately retained his title following interference from Solo Sikoa, which at the time sparked outrage. While Cody Rhodes went on to finally defeat Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40, some fans have argued that Rhodes should have won the gold at WrestleMania 39 for a variety of reasons. Per Dave Meltzer on the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Vince McMahon made the call for Reigns to defeat Rhodes in April 2023, but Triple H reportedly was on board with this decision and didn't disagree. Noting that the original plan was for Rhodes to win at WrestleMania 39, Meltzer explained, quote, regarding the perception from the outside that it was Vince who made the call not to put Rhodes over at last year's Mania, a call which now internally has been credited for the record-setting nature of this year's show, Vince did have the final say at the time, but it was noted Levesque agreed too that it was as well, and it would have happened either way. It is true that the original plan last year was for Rhodes to win. Both McMahon and Levesque were on board with the return from the pec surgery and the title win after the injury, telling a story not altogether different from the Triple H return from quad surgery and a title win at the 2002 Mania. A lot happened behind the scenes, with key points being argued and eventually agreed by all parties it would be stronger a year later. It was also argued that keeping Reigns as champion would open a key storyline to make Jey Uso into a major single star and merchandise draw as a babyface. While Vince did make the call, Levesque was on board with the call and there was no significant issues with the decision. It was said that it was absolutely not Vince overruling Levesque and forcing the decision. Of course, Seth Rollins played a big part in Rhodes winning the undisputed WWE Championship this year, teaming with Rhodes to face The Rock and Roman Reigns on WrestleMania 40 Night 1 and distracting Reigns in the closing moments of the WrestleMania 40 Night 2 main event. Speaking of Rhodes and I guess future plans, they look to be involving the final boss himself, The Rock. The final boss, of course, wrestled his first full WWE match in 11 years on April 6, teaming with Roman Reigns to defeat Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins in the main event of WrestleMania 40 Night 1. During the April 8th edition of Raw, after WrestleMania, The Rock teased a singles match against Cody Rhodes, but revealed he's going to be away from WWE television for a while. Per Dave Meltzer, in the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, there's a, quote, chance The Rock will wrestle later this year. Noting that a Rock versus Cody Rhodes match is tentatively planned for WrestleMania 41, Meltzer wrote, quote, we were told there was a chance of him doing a match late this year, but the Rhodes match was tentatively for Mania, whether Rhodes is champion or not. So what do you think is going to happen when it comes to The Rock versus Cody Rhodes? And what do you think is going to happen when it comes to The Rock and his WWE schedule? Let me know your thoughts about that in the comment section below as well. Now, of course, this week, the announcement was made of the Marigold promotion being founded in Japan by Rossi Agawa. On April 15th, Rossi Agawa announced the launch of Dreamstar Fighting Marigold. The former Stardom boss launched the new project alongside WWE's latest signing, Julia. This continued speculation that the two sides could work together in the future, and it seems that may now be the case. Reporting in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer said a working agreement between the two companies has been finalized. Quote, Rossi Agawa's new promotion, called Dreamstar Fighting Marigold, although it will basically be called Marigold, had its opening press conference on April 15, and there is a working agreement between the promotion and WWE. Marigold's first show will be held in Korakuen Hall in Tokyo on May 20th, with Julia teaming with an unnamed partner to take on Saray and a mystery partner as well. Meanwhile, there's speculation that Kairi Sane and Io Sky could make special appearances with the new promotion. Quote, during the day and in the media, the names Kairi and Io Shirai from WWE were brought up. Whether the relationship was formalized or not is unclear, but it exists, and that's what Paul Levesque and Agawa were there to work out last week. So seemingly, that working relationship is somewhat in place. Now, we've seen recent teases about a possible return to WWE TV of Uncle Howdy / Bo Dallas, but also there's been reports of Eric Rowan returning to WWE as well, with an independent promotion announcing that Eric Redbeard, formerly known as Eric Rowan, had been pulled from their show due to, quote, new contractual obligations, end quote. Rumors arose surrounding the former Wyatt family member possibly returning to WWE. This speculation was fueled by another report indicating that Eric had been spotted in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which is the city where WWE holds its medical testing procedures, meaning it's possible that's why Rowan was there. In a new update, per Dave Meltzer, in the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, there's an expectation within the company that Eric Rowan is returning. Quote, Joseph Rudd, 42, who has been wrestling on the indies as Eric Redbeard, but best known as Eric Rowan, pulled out of all of his upcoming dates, signing a new contract that would prevent him from appearing. The natural speculation would be WWE, with the idea of a connection with the returning Bo Dallas. WWE did not confirm that, as they wouldn't officially, but within the company, there was that expectation. While Rowan hasn't wrestled for WWE since March 2020, he did return for the Bray Wyatt tribute episode of SmackDown on August 25 last year. He was released by WWE in April 2020, following 9 years with the company. And finally, Chad Gable turned heel Monday night on Raw, and it looks like he could be set to have a new heel faction. Gable attacked Sami Zayn after unsuccessfully challenging for the Intercontinental Championship in the main event of Monday Night Raw this week. With several WWE stars teasing alliances with this new version of Gable, there has been speculation about a new group surrounding the former Olympian. One of the stars who teased an alliance with Gable was Julius Creed of the Creed Brothers. Per Dave Meltzer in the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, it's believed that Julius and Brutus Creed will form a heel faction with Gable. Meltzer wrote, quote, the belief going around is that the Creeds are going heel to form a unit with Gable. Of course, this is interesting because Gable currently leads the Alpha Academy faction featuring Maxine Dupree, Otis, and Akira Tozawa. So we'll have to see how that plays out on WWE TV. But there you go, guys. This is the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.